Hello, hello. Welcome back, fellow explorers, to another episode of Breakthrough to Better, a podcast that's your beacon on the journey of self-improvement. I'm your host, Drizzy Babe, and today we're venturing into an exhilarating territory. I can't even say it because I'm so excited. Territory. Stepping out of your comfort zone. So, in our quest for growth and self-improvement, comfort zones can often become invisible chains and holding us back from achieving our true potential. So in this episode, we'll explore the immense power that lies in stepping out of your comfort zone, embracing the unfamiliar, and turning fear into fuel for growth. It's about time to break free from what confines you and step into the world of endless possibilities. Remember, the magic truly begins at the end of your comfort zone. So, are you ready to take that leap? Let's embark on this exciting journey together and learn how to challenge ourselves right here on Breakthrough to Better. P.S. We're doing a giveaway raffle every week, starting next week for those that have left reviews and comments below. This week's giveaway is brought to you by Layered Jewelry, affordable, stylish, quality pieces that let you express your unique style. This winner is getting a piece of their choice. All right, guys, let's get into it. So this week is all about, or this episode, I should say, is all about getting out of your comfort zone. And I know that the comfort zone can be very comfortable because, hey, it's called the comfort zone for a reason, right? But I want you to think about this analogy of a dog, right? And a dog is sitting on a really uncomfortable floor, right? And it's not like a carpet or anything, it's like a hardwood floor that just does not feel comfortable at all. And let's say that, he is uncomfortable, but he's really tired. And he's not uncomfortable enough to get up and go somewhere else on the carpet, to be more comfortable, right? So he'll stay there, even though it's comfortably uncomfortable, because he's familiar with that uncomfort. Now, if let's say there is something that comes along, like a much bigger dog that could, threaten him, and that makes him very, very uncomfortable to the point where he's willing to move, then he'll move. But that's only because he feels it more uncomfortable to stay than to go. And that's where you will move from your comfort zone. The only reason you will ever move from your comfort zone outside of your own, motivation is if you become more uncomfortable to stay than it is to leave. And I think that that only happens when you have something in your life that comes along that is unexpected or tragic or just life changing. And while that doesn't happen every single day, and a lot of those things can be traumatic, and I don't wish those on anyone, sometimes you can use horrible experiences in life to get you to move out of your comfort zone, but only if you view it as something that's happening for you and not to you. So, for example, grief is a big motivator for people to move. Recently, at this time of the podcast, lost someone who really made me see that time is very short and that there is a whole lot of things that we can be doing right now with our lives that the only reason we're not doing them is because we're just afraid. We're afraid to get out of our comfort zones. We're afraid to move. We're afraid of what people will think. We're afraid of trying something new and looking stupid in front of other people. We're afraid of making mistakes and having the consequences of making those mistakes. And to be very honest and upfront, all of those things will not kill you. And to cite another death that very much impacted me, the guy who died, his wife recently said in a speech very publicly that we always say that we have no time to do things, but that's not true. The people who die have no more time to do things. They have no more time left. When we say that, we'll do it later, we have no idea how much time later is. We have no idea how much time we have left. And so it's very easy for us to say tomorrow, for us to say, I'll do it when, blah, 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 blah. I'll, do it later when I feel like it. But the newsflash is that most of us never feel like doing things that are uncomfortable. We'll never wake up one day and be like, you know what? I feel like completely embarrassing myself in front of people. That's just what I feel like today. No one will ever wake up and say that. No one will ever wake up and want to do all the things that made them uncomfortable the day before. But the people who do those things that are uncomfortable are the people who know that getting uncomfortable is what's going to get them closer to their why, to their goal, to their purpose. And they know that people are counting on them, people that maybe they haven't even met yet, that are counting on them to grow into the best version of themselves so that they can be helped. And I want you to think about that for a second, that you not getting uncomfortable is not just hurting yourself, because it is hurting yourself, but it's also hurting every single person that you come in contact with, because those people also need you to be better. Like I always say, every single week and every single live, when we get better, the world gets better. And that's 100% true. But the opposite is also true. When we get worse, the world gets worse. We are a reflection, the world is a reflection of our inner mind and our improvements and our bad habits, our mindset. The only way that the world gets better is if we each take the time to individually all get better. And the best way you can do that, the fastest way you can do that, is by working through fear and getting out of your comfort zone. There are so many times that I did not want to do something, but I put it on myself to do it because I knew that I wasn't going to get to the end goal if I did not put myself in that comfortable position. For example, when I was younger, I was very, 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 very shy. I still am a little bit shy here. I'm an introvert. Not to say that introverts are shy, but I was a shy introvert. And I loathed talking to new people. I hated the feeling of being awkward and out of place and just not knowing what to say. I also hated talking in front of people. I hated presenting things. I would get so nervous. I would shake all over. You could see me shaking. My legs would become jelly. And I just felt like, what if I forget what to say? What if I look silly in front of people? What if I, um, you know, just look like a fool? Like, what if everybody laughs? What if everybody, um, this is so irrational, but what if everybody like throws vegetables at me and tomatoes? Like we think of such silly things when we are scared of getting out of our comfort zones, things that have never even happened to us before in the past. And we keep thinking these things, and our brain keeps giving us every single reason not to do the thing because it's trying to keep us from that embarrassment and that hurt and that failure. Our brain, its main mission is to protect us. And our brain thinks that by us staying in our comfort zone, we will be protected and safe. And maybe that's true to a point, but the only way that we get better is through growth. And the only way that we grow is by doing things differently. The insanity definition is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I mean, if that's our definition of insanity, then yeah, staying in your comfort zone and thinking that you're going to be moving forward is insane. And I think some people need to hear that because People are in denial about how they're going to move forward in life, especially today, because a lot of people are struggling, whether that's financially, health wise, spiritually, mindset. People are struggling. And a lot of people think, well, if I just play it safe, I'll be better. But that's not true. To some degree, sure, don't bet your entire house on something that you have no experience with. That's probably not a good idea. But if you want to move forward, you need to take a little risk. You need to do something you've never done before. You need to be able to take that leap. Make a good informed decision, sure, but make the decision. Because a lot of you are, and myself, I've done it in the past too, stuck on the one step that could get you closer to what you want. And that one step is just making a decision. And we keep thinking that we have all the time in the world, like I said before, to make this decision, but we really don't. You have no idea how much time you have left. And if you really want to make that impact in the world, to let the world know that you've been here before you leave, you're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to take a risk. You're going to have to do something uncomfortable. And it all starts with the decision to make a commitment to getting outside of your comfort zone. Now, if you know anyone in the personal development space, or just anyone that you admire, I bet you that person does uncomfortable things. I bet you that person still feels the fear and does it anyway. And we all think that the people who we look up to don't have fear, do things fearlessly. But that's not true. They have the same exact fear as you and me. They just work through it. They use that fear to go through the fear. They use it as fuel to push past the uncomfortable, to get to the other side. And the trick to that is having a very, very strong goal or why. If you don't have a reason why you're pushing past being uncomfortable, you probably won't. Because people need to know that when they're doing something or working towards something, there's going to be a reward or something that's worth it at the end of it. So the first step to getting outside your comfort zone really is to come up with a very, very good why or a goal as to why you want to get better, why you need to get to the place you need to get to. And there's this guy in the personal development world, maybe you've heard of him, Dean Graziosi, right? He does a lot of programs with Tony Robbins, if you heard him as well. And Dean Graziosi has this 5 levels deep thing. And this is basically how it goes. If you would like to get down to your why, and not your just surface level why of what you tell everybody, but your real why that's going to get you to move and get up and do things, you have to go 5 levels deep. So if you say, I really need to get to where I want to go because I need to be wealthy, right? Surface level, like I just need to make money. Now, that surface level, ask yourself again the question why? Why do I need to be wealthy? Well, maybe it's because you grew up poor and you don't want to be poor anymore. Okay, cool. Why? Why do you not want to be poor anymore? Well, maybe it's because when you were a child, you were always told no, and you don't want your future family to have to be told no when they want things. You want to give them more. Okay, that's great. But why? Why do you want your family to be able to have everything? Well, I want my family to be able to have everything because I always felt like an outsider and I never felt like I was, more than everybody else. So I want them to be able to feel like they're worth it. Okay, that's great. Why? Why do you want your family to be able to feel like they're worth it? You have to answer all of these questions. And the lower in the levels that you get, it's going to get harder and harder and harder. And you're going to have to get very, very, very real with yourself. And there are some things that maybe you don't want to touch. But again, it's worth it. So you push through. It might take you a while because it brings up a lot of emotions you don't like, but you do have to get to the bottom because that is going to be your real reason why you do what you do. And when you know why you do what you do, it'll be a lot easier to push through all that fear, all that uncomfortableness, and to get yourself out past that comfort zone. And as you do go outside your comfort zone will stretch farther and farther and farther to the point where you may be all the way outside your comfort zone and you'll be thinking, well, actually, this isn't even my comfort zone anymore because I'm actually comfortable with what I'm doing that used to make me uncomfortable. So, for example, if talking in front of people made you very, very uncomfortable, but then you kept doing it to the point where it was just another thing that you're capable of doing, then going out of your comfort zone might be talking to an even bigger group of people or live television or, something that's even bigger than that. I don't know. But your comfort zone is going to expand over time. And I think that that's beautiful because you have a point to measure against, like we talked about in setting goals before. You can move past that point and set a new goal of what's uncomfortable that you haven't tackled yet. So there's always going to be new levels and new devils that you have to overcome. But that's life. We're always overcoming new things. We're always trying to improve because if we're not trying to improve, we're not growing. And if we're not growing, we're dying. And I don't know about you, but I don't know how much time I have left. I want to spend the time that I do have improving and growing and helping other people to do the same. Because for me, my very deep why is to help people become the best version of themselves so that they can also help other people do the same thing, so that I leave a lasting legacy on this earth that lives on way beyond me. And that's why I wake up every day. That's why I do the podcast. That's why I help people. That's why I will have the conversations with people that maybe are uncomfortable for me. Because I know that helping other people helps other people help other people. It's a mouthful, but it's true. And maybe that's not your deep why, but you do have to get down to what yours is because once you do, you will unlock a new level of doing and being and growing. So that uncomfortable feeling that you get when you try something new, don't think that that is a sign that you shouldn't be doing it. Think of it as a sign that you're moving forward. Use uncomfortability as a sign that you are growing, as a sign that you are going towards what you want. Don't associate it with something that's not supposed to happen. That's just your brain trying to keep you safe. So when you do go outside your comfort zone, there will be a lot of people who are uncomfortable with you going outside of your comfort zone. It's kind of ironic. And the reason why that is because people don't like change. You know that. We know it. She knows it. He knows it. We know it. Everybody knows it. But When you change, people do not like that. And they won't say it to your face. They won't say, I really don't like you changing. Or maybe they will. Maybe they're the kind of person who's like, you changed. And to that I say, well, yeah, of course I did. It's life. We all change. And if you're not changing, you're dying. What can I tell you? But when people see that you're changing and they don't like the fact that you're changing, they will do everything to pull you back into your comfort zone. They will do everything to keep you where you are with them. And the reason that is because you moving ahead in your life just reminds them that they're not moving ahead in their life. And that doesn't make them feel good at all. And you shouldn't dim your light to make someone else feel better, especially if this is getting out of your comfort zone. So when someone tries to pull you back, you just have to remind yourself that this isn't coming from a place of maliciousness. It's not coming from a place of wisdom. It's not coming from a place of wanting to make you upset. What it is it's just coming from a place of self-worth. It's coming from a place of insecurity. It's coming from a place of not wanting to be left behind. And that's okay. People are going to feel like they're being left behind. People are going to feel like you're leaving them. People are going to feel insecure in the relationship. That's normal. What you need to do is to remind them. Remind them that this is what's best for you. This is what's going to help you. And if they want to join, they can. That way, you know that you invited them to do the stuff with you. You have no more guilt anymore about becoming better because you invited them to be better with you. Now, if they say yes, that's great. You can grow together and you can push each other to grow. But if they say no, that's on them. You don't have to keep helping everybody. You work with the people who want to work. You work with the people who do want to change, who are willing to take the risk, who are willing to make the decision, who are willing to grow. You don't have to completely separate yourself from the people that don't want to grow. You can have a season of separation. You can limit your time with those people. But you don't want to surround yourself with people who are constantly trying to pull you back. It will end up tearing you apart. Because on the outside, you'll feel horrible when you say no to those people, even though you want to say yes to yourself. And it's very, very hard to say no to someone else if you're a people pleaser, like I was. Getting out of your comfort zone isn't just making the decision to do it, but it's also making the decision to say no to something and to some people. And I think that's the hardest part for some people is saying no to other people and other things in order to make way for the things that they really want. Because saying no is hard. But doing the hard things is what's going to get you ahead. If it was easy, everybody would do it and we all be the best versions of ourselves and we live in a better world and everybody would be successful. But that's not what life is. Life is moving through the hard parts, not staying in the hardness, the difficulty, or the suffering, but moving past it. So the next time that you have the decision to make to stay in your comfort zone or move out of it, just remember the power is with you. You're the one that can make the decision to move out. And your why is going to be the reason why you don't stay in that comfort zone and you grow into the person that you're always meant to be and to help other people do the same. And I hope that helps someone out there who feels stuck in a comfort zone or feels stuck in their life. Because the quickest way to get yourself unstuck is to stop doing what you've been doing and start doing the things that you've been putting off or know that's uncomfortable to do. So that's all for today's episode of Breakthrough to Better, guys. I hope you found insights and inspiration from our discussion as we continue exploring life's lessons and turning them into stepping stones for your personal growth. If you've enjoyed this episode, please spread the love and share it on your social media channel. Let's inspire others to also strive for their betterment. And be sure to tag us, and use the hashtag Breakthrough to Better. Every share, every comment, every review helps us to reach more people and make a wider impact. So until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, when we get better, the world gets better. Thanks.